So the markets right now are quite bullish, but the bears, the bears TRVL are filling it down.
Who's that?
I didn't fall.
Hello, how's it going? I'm in a crowded place. Sorry. Again, Chamonix. It's hell on earth. Not really. It's heaven on hell. Heaven and hell. All right. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm going to be back in London tomorrow. Hopefully by then I'm going to have normal streams and it's going to be less hectic. Right now I'm using... my 5G doesn't even work. I'm using someone else's 5G. I saw someone like my stream. I think it was... Who was it? I can see hearts flying, but I can't see who it is. So yeah, so let's have a look at the charts. And what I'm going to do today is have a look at... What did I post just now? I can't even remember. I'm going to have a look at Moonvember. And then obviously I'm going to have a look at BTC, TRVL, and then SUI and SSWP, SUI swap. And I'm also going to have a look at some of this GBP, this GBPUSD, this GB10Y yields and 2-year yields. And I think the reason why I'm going to have a look at those is because I'm quite interested in the UK markets right now. That they've just had a massive budget this week on Wednesday, i.e. 2 days ago. I want to see what impact that's had on the markets in the UK, technically on the charts. All right, so let's have a look at Bitcoin. Oh, it's Chili. Chili's here. Okay. Hi, Chili. He's watching. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. All right, monthly candle is printed. This is it. And actually what's interesting about this monthly candle is that we also have the 2 monthly candle that's printed. You see? So while most people are looking at the monthly candle, I'm also looking at the 2 monthly candle. And it's quite important to have a look at these candles to see if they're kind of revealing any information about the charts. And you can see actually it's quite interesting now, just looking at this 2 monthly candle. What's this line? Let me just get rid of this data. Fixed range. I'm using the BTC/USD perpetual contract on Bybit. And so it's quite interesting because the price has gone all the way up to not take the all-time high. Okay, you see that? And we've had a close above the previous candle high. So we've had a bullish close. That's a bullish close. Okay. The reason why that's a bullish close is because we've closed above the previous candle high. That's the previous high, and we've closed above it. What that effectively means is that from one candle period to the next candle period, people are willing to hold on to their Bitcoin at that price. Yeah, they're not selling it before the candle closes. They're holding. They're hodling. So that's quite bullish, and we've gone up already almost to 50% of the wick, and now we're having a little bit of a sell-off. And what's actually happening is it looks as though we're just getting a pullback for continuation. That's what it looks like, pullback for continuation, because we've had such a bullish close. This is a bullish reversal on this candle formation. Got a big sell all the way down, bought right back up, sold down, and then bought up to close higher. So it's a really bullish candle, and that's on a 2 monthly chart. So now we're getting a little pullback, and it looks as though we're just picking up liquidity for continuation. Let me just have a look at the different candles in play. This is the 3-month chart. This is a very bullish candle here, isn't it? This is a dragonfly doji in the lows, a green one. It's already gone up, gone all the way up to take liquidity from the highs, getting a little bit of pullback. Let's have a look at the 6 monthly candle. You see the 6 monthly candle is looking already quite bullish. with the candle open at there about 62,766. So I think these are looking good. 12-month candle, obviously we're just kind of ranging, we're just pushing the highs now, aren't we? We've already taken the all-time high once, and now we're kind of trying to see how this ends. So let's go back to the monthly candle. It's a bullish continuation candle from the previous candle. It's a very bullish structure that we've formed here in terms of the candles. We haven't taken the all-time high yet. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, you kind of want people to be bearish, and you know, people don't understand what's happening. They're going to get bearish because they're going to think that's a lower high, this is going down. But actually it's not a lower high, because on the daily time frame we've put in a higher high. This is really important that you understand what's happening in terms of the structure of the market. On the daily time frame we've been putting lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We've been putting lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. Okay, and after we put in this lower high here, which came in on the 29th of July 24, we went all the way down to put in a lower low on the 5th of August 24. So when you look at this in reverse, yeah, that is a V. You see the V? You see the V? That's in reverse. So we've had a V there. That's really bearish, okay, because we've had a V. We've changed market structure. That's a change of market structure, because you've gone to a lower low, to a lower high, to a lower low. Do you see that? And actually the change of market structure happened here. That was the first V. That was the second V. Yeah. And then you've gone all the way up to take out the high. The high was taken out there. So that's the structure that we're kind of looking at right now. Let me just go back and show you one more time. These are the lower highs. These are the lower lows. Okay. From here. So higher high. That was the lower low. Let me just work this out. Hold on a second. Lower low. Higher low. Higher high. Lower low. This was the confirmation of change from there to there. That was a bearish confirmation of market structure change. Hi name, how's it going? And then we went and put in a lower high and another lower low. You see that? So the change happened here. Then we put in a lower high and a lower low. And then from a lower low, we went all the way up to take out this high, and that's your higher high. That's your first step in changing market structure. So in this whole period of time, we haven't put in a higher high, except we have 4 days ago, we put in a higher high. And what you're looking for now is this, quite simply. You don't want to take out this low. This is your invalidation. Because if the price now goes down and takes out this low at 40, I'll give you the exact number actually. It's $48,900. So if you go down now and take out $48,900, you've gone from putting a higher high to putting a lower low. And so actually what would happen is that from the all-time high, you would end up with a lower high and then a lower low. So you have continuation of bearish market structure. So as long as you don't invalidate what's happening now by taking out this pivot here, this one here, we are now looking for a higher low. That's what we're looking for. So nothing here is bearish at the moment. because what we're trying to do is we're trying to change market structure. We've taken out the high. That was the high that we took out. And now the price is looking for liquidity to find support, to go right back up, to take out, to make an attempt to take out that high. Now, it may not. No one can predict the future. No one knows what's going to happen. So, you know, you could get into some kind of range bound behavior where we get a breakout either down to attack the low there if it's bearish, or a range bound behavior to break out and take out that high, which would be a bullish change, a bullish market structure change. So at the moment, what's happened is we put in a higher high, and what the price is trying to do is put in a higher low. And so I did say, so when we're looking at my stream, on our stream 2 days ago, if you look at my my last stream, what was I talking about? If you have a look at it, look at my description, I was looking at possible BTC corrective pullbacks for a higher low. So that was really what was on my mind. I wasn't thinking, let's just go up, let's rally up, let's continue up. I was thinking, now that we put in a higher high, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a higher low. Hi, Altcoin Dreaming. How's it going? Yeah, I'm pretty good. I finally got back online. I had a really big, massive problems yesterday trying to get online, but finally I'm back online. So I'm just going through the structure right now. So, I mean, that's really what's going on. There's nothing really to it. It's not out of the ordinary. It's not unusual. What we're experiencing now is very normal. We've taken out the high, and now we're looking for a higher low. That's really what's going on. It doesn't mean that we're going down. It just means that we're just looking for a higher low, right? And so that's it, really. Like, if anyone's looking to long, now is the moment. This is the pullback. This is the one pullback of all the pullbacks that you would long. Yeah, so in everything else, people were like, it was mostly hopium. It was all range bound behavior. And actually the market structure became bearish. But it was basically range bound behavior. But this is the one that we long. Yeah, this is the one. Why? Because we've taken out the high, and we have a really clear invalidation at the moment. The invalidation is here, but obviously there are we have early signs of what the invalidation, whether the price is showing strength or weakness, and we don't want the price to show weakness. So that's really important. So let's have a look at the range, and let's see. So, I mean, you could argue we're getting weakness, right? You could argue we're getting a little bit of weakness right now. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to just update my volume levels quickly. Okay, this is the range here. And let me just update some other... I've got some other range levels here, which I also want to update. Higher range. What's that higher range? Nope, I don't need to update that. Bull market. Let me have a look at this. Yeah, the bull market value area. Let's have a look at this. Any changes there? Just a little bit. Nothing interesting. And you have a lot of volume in the bull market value area at the point of control there. Higher range, bull market, overall volume levels. Have a look at the overall volume levels as well. Let's just have a look. And that's just based on this Bybit and perpetuals chart. Let's have a look at that. Little change there. Point of control is still down there. And then you've got this, obviously, you've got this value area high there. So, all right, so there aren't really any, there's nothing really major going on in the volume, to be honest with you. I did notice something just when I just did a full pull on this chart now. I did notice that we put a shed of volume here. You see that? There's a lot of volume here. And almost as much as this point of control. Almost. You see that? It's almost as much as that. So I think the fact that we're ranging here and we've put almost as much as the point of control here, for me, that's actually really bullish. And the fact that this is the value area of this kind of multi-year range going back to 2019. This is the value area. And the fact that we're consolidating here, and we've put in so much volume here at 48,000, 49,000. I really think this is extremely, extremely mega ultra bullish. Yeah. I don't see the price being able to do this if this was bearish. Yeah. And that's the thing. If the price was bearish, there's no way that this would happen. It would be impossible. You don't range in the highs of a multi-year range above the value area if this is just bearish consolidation for some kind of drop, for some kind of move down. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you're going to get that, you're not going to get the volume, and you're certainly not going to be above the volume. You'll be below the volume, right? And so logically, that makes absolutely no sense. So I have seen people on X hoping for lower, and it's all hopium really. I just don't see it, not in the volume anyway. And so Name, you're asking, do you think we can go down 65, 66 and then go up? So let's just have a look at this again, all right? Because we are trying to put in a higher low. And the other thing that I'm just looking at this chart, on the daily time frame, do you see the way these candles have closed squarely like this? Like that. Hold on. This is actually called a poor high. Yeah. And with poor highs, you always get them, they always get cleaned up of liquidity. So if we were suddenly deciding, determined to go down, I still think we'd go up to clean those highs for some kind of higher time frame swing failure, like a massive rejection. And so kind of like this one here, like, do you see here, you got this swing, you have a poor, this is a poor high here. You see, this is a poor high here. And you see how the price went down? And then not only did you have one swing failure, you had a double swing failure rejection. Yeah. And that cleaned up the highs. And so right now what we're looking at is a poor high, which means effectively, it means that the price is closed in the highs. You haven't had a sell into the highs. Yeah. It hasn't been sold into the highs. It's just closed. And so you have some people there who are trapped, and that has to be cleaned up. And so I do, whatever happens, I do expect us to go up again to see what happens. And regardless of whether we're going up or not. So I don't think this is the top, just based on what I'm looking at now. And it was like this, like you were looking at the price action here. Was that the top? No, it wasn't. Was that the top? No, it wasn't. This last wick became the top of this local price action. It was like this, the third swing failure, or the second swing failure of this actual high became the top. Big rejection, and the price, look how far it rejected. It went all the way down to there. And so I do expect us to clean the top up, regardless of what happens. So I don't think it is the top. But again, the same thing, in my mind, the same thing happens. Unless this is now going to go all the way down now and take out this low. For me, this is now a higher low. We're looking for a higher low. It's really that simple. If we do go down and take out that low, of course, everything changes, completely changes. Yeah. And so let's just kind of, that was just an explanation. Let's just have a look at the, let's just bring the range levels back. Bring the volume back. That's kind of what you would do, wouldn't you? You'd get the volume up, you'd get the fibs up. And then what else would you get up? Possibly in this context, you could get up some kind of GAN fan. Yeah. If you go in the regular chart, which is kind of similar because we're at high numbers, you could also get a speed fan as well. Okay. It's kind of the same, because even though it's a I like using log. The reality is that these high numbers, there isn't much difference between the log and the regular chart. And you're looking for confluence now. We're looking for confluence. When it comes to the speed fan, so this one, you would use the regular chart, this one, and the best place to buy on the speed fan is the 618. So you see, I've actually just drawn it from this pivot low to this pivot high here, and you can see the 618 actually perfectly corresponds with this red wick low. You see that? So even though this is, we've drawn this after the fact, you see how there is a perfect alignment with the 618 on this fib speed fan. So naturally, you're still looking for confluence, but let's just say you come down here, you have confluence, you have the value area low with the 618 on the speed fan. So it isn't just about the price, where to buy in terms of price, it's also where to buy in terms of price and time. It's really important to get that kind of confluence between volume and price and time. Yeah, so time is really important. You can't ignore it. And so actually, you know, I can't really tell you what a good price is, because it isn't just about the price. It also depends on how we get there and how long it takes to come down. Yeah, if we just bounce around here now, it could be here. It could be just this, like, this first speed fan, which is, I can't remember what it is. It says there 382. It could just be a 382 confluence with a back test of the point of control on the 16th of November. Yeah, so it's really hard to know exactly what price is good. That's why you just have to keep on analyzing the charts to see where you find confluence. So I would actually look at the speed fan, especially because I'm looking at the speed fan and I'm seeing that the 618 had a really nice reaction here, and so I don't see why you wouldn't trade the next reaction on the speed fan if you can get confluence on that. So that's something to look at. And then the other thing to look at, I think, let me just have a look at the scan fan and see if there's any reaction. Yeah, potentially here, look, the 2-1 as well. Potentially there, look, you see that? It never closed underneath, and it basically touched there, almost touched there. So potentially you could also look at this 2-1 GAN fan, and again, you can just have a look at it on log, which is fine. I prefer log. And, you know, again, it's the same as in Sunday, 17th of November. If the price, you know, somehow comes there on time, this high volume node, that would be a good place, wouldn't it? You know, if the price just ranges here now, and then you come there on the 11th of December, that would be a good place at the point of control. So you have to look at these things together. It's not just like this is a good place, right? So this is something I'll be looking at. And obviously the other thing I'll be looking at are just simple levels of confluence. So right now, the point of control, why not? Look at it. Point of control almost lines up with the 236. The range is very low. It's about $500 between the 236 and the point of control. The point of control is the highest volume node on this range. This range which extends all the way back until February. And the reason why the point of control is a good place to buy is because if anyone is short, the first place they will take profit will be the value area high. That will be the first place. So if you look at the lower time frames, yeah, you'll see that there was an immediate reaction here at the value area high. We've lost the value area, or we've lost value area high as a support level, and now it's become a resistance level. So we're kind of back in the range. That's, in a sense, that's actually bearish. So that's kind of what you want to experience. You just want to experience a little bit of bearish so people start shorting, but they're shorting into the point of control. So even if they short, the minute you come down here, that will be like the second take profit. So if anyone is short here, that will be their first take profit, which they would have taken profit. Why would they not take profit there? They would take profit there, and then they would compound compound there. You know, they would short again there on a reaction. That's how traders would trade. And traders are moving the market right now. Name is saying 4 hour looks like an ABC. Yeah, exactly. So the other thing that you're looking at here potentially is like an ABC. I don't know. I'm not really kind of following the waves at the moment. I'm just looking for areas of confluence. There's quite a lot of volume, huh? Look at that volume there. And so I have to look at the order flow to see what that volume is. But I think it's a tricky one, because if the point of control doesn't hold as support, like that, I'd expect something like that. Then we're going down, aren't we? To this higher volume node, lower down. And the 382. Yeah. And then it's really important, and that could correspond with a trend line that we have here. Something like that. Could there be a steeper trend line? Sure. There could be a steeper trend line there. But I like to take the outer trend lines personally as the extent of the range. And then again, you're still looking for the same thing. You're looking for confluence, some kind of confluence. And this would mean that November we're actually going down, and you're looking for some kind of bounce up. In this context, what you would want to see, and I think it's really important, you'd want to flip the point of control from the top of this range here to this lower high volume node. I think that's really important. So if we do lose the point of control again as support, and we do go down, then I think it's really important that we get enough volume here to flip this point of control and bring it down. Yeah. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to lose the point of control in the top of the range, back test it as resistance, and not to put enough volume lower down to flip the position of the point of control, because then it actually becomes really bearish if that happens. Okay, especially when you're starting to lose levels. But then if you do that, then actually it becomes bullish again, because it means now the point of control is back underneath the price, and so now the point of control is holding the price. So there's a few things that we're looking for at the moment in the way the price moves. And like, there's no crystal ball. No one can actually look at this and go, I know what's going to happen. Yeah. The one thing I do know is that we've put in a higher high, which I've already talked about. And the price is now looking for a higher low, which I've been talking about. Once you put in a higher low, yeah, and the way you know you've put in a higher low is you go down, you find support somewhere. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we take out these lows and you reclaim the level that you lost. So the sign of strength, then you'll be looking for a sign of strength. You'll be looking for some kind of liquidity grab, and then you'll be looking for a sign of strength. Okay. And a sign of strength is to reclaim a lost level. You lose a level, that's a sign of weakness. So here we're losing the value area higher. What is that? Back testing as resistance. That's a sign of weakness. Yeah. And so if you're going to look to short now, you could, yeah, you could short what, and you would have an invalidation. It would be that high, and you would be invalidated if the price went up, because that would be a sign of strength. To go back up, that would be a sign of strength. As long as the value area high is holding the price as resistance, then this is a confirmed sign of weakness, and that's, people would short that. But again, the problem is that you're shorting into the point of control. So yeah, you short that, but you have to take profit there to cover your trade as a risk-free trade. So I think it's really important that to understand what's happening, and that would just kind of give you context. Altcoin Dreaming is saying, giving me a chart. So he's saying the naked daily point of control plus the naked daily time point of control. Oh, at 6865. Oh, I haven't looked at that. Let me have a look at that. So 68650. 68650. I mean, according to EXO altcoin, this one's been tapped. 68800. That was a naked daily from EXO charts. And then you've got a time point of control. Let me have a look at that one. Hold on a second. It should show me the TPO. Let me have a look again. Six eight four nine nine. 68803. Six eight seven eight five. Naked daily TPO. You've got it on ATAS. Let's have a look. There's quite good confluence there. Huh? If you got those two levels, 600. I don't have those, but I don't doubt you. We're almost there, huh? 600. Let me have a look. We're so close to 600. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, actually, to be honest with you. Just looking at the price now, it's only here. If we were to sweep these lows here now, but you have to get back into away from the value area high. You have to kind of get back up, otherwise, it's just another trader's bounce. If you get traders who take that long here and just TP at the value area high, then you're just going to get continuation, because the price will just come right back and down and keep on putting lower lows here. And so that's what you'd have to see. I think in this context, until we can get back above the value area high and reclaim it as support, then this is going to start continuously looking bearish regardless of where we bounce. That's kind of what I'm seeing at the moment, right? So I don't doubt what you're saying in terms of a bounce. that probably corresponds with their golden pocket here, a local golden pocket. $6.8, $5.30, $5.50 or so thereabouts. You've got a 4-hour order block here. You've got golden pocket. Plus you've got those naked. Oh yeah, maybe using Binance. Well, I know that the traders that I follow, they use perpetual inverse perpetuals on Bybit. Yeah, so Lucky Ape and CC Pool from Chart Champions. I know they all use Bybit. This one that I use, and so that naturally that's the one I'm using, because you know you got some big traders using those charts. But I mean, I do look at the Bybit chart. It's just it's a little bit messier. I think logically what has to happen is what I'm saying. Wherever the bounce is, we have to get back above there. So I think this right now, the price action is going to be very easy for us to see when to long, because as soon as you do that and you just back test the value area high on the higher time frame, you have a really nice invalidation, because if that happens, you don't expect to come back in, and then that's your trade. Yeah, because once you do get a reaction here, it'd be very easy to trade this actually, because once you get back above the value area high, you're not expecting the price to go down now. Then you're invalidated because you just gone and put in a lower low in this local price action, right? So as a trader, that's a really easy trade. If we get a reaction there, get back into the value area high. The lower we down, the harder it becomes. But actually, the more reaction on the bigger the bounce potentially, and then you see the reaction in the volume and the price action. So naturally, the point of control is a really good place, because you have the point of control, you have the 236, they're in alignment. And does the price here go and just put in a higher low here? Which could happen, look. And that's actually what I'm thinking right now. There's your first higher low. There's your second one here. There's your third one here. Get your bounce up. And there. Get like a little ABC here. Something like that. And actually what you're doing here is just putting higher lows on these lower wicks. You see higher low, higher low, higher low on this 4-hour time frame wicks. You're clearing the naked point of control, hit the naked daily, whatever you just said. Back testing the value area high, getting shorts involved, but actually you're just going down here, completing some kind of local ABC, and then you're getting really nice bounce off a 618 and a point of control with this 236, and then the confirmation in this context would be just to get back into the value area high, above the value area high. If you get that, then that would be job done for all of us, because then you're probably going higher. Yeah, then you're probably just going right back up, and it's just another buy the dip opportunity, but actually people will come in late. I think if you lose the point of control, this starts to get a little bit more bearish. And if you do lose the control, then I think naturally the next target is going to be down here at 63,000. I just can't see us losing the point of control and getting back above it so easily. I think then you're heading lower personally, and then you're heading for this lower trend line or some kind of confluence down here. And I think you just have to take it level to level. And in my mind right now, the next big level is the point of control and is 236. And if we do see a continuation of this pattern, these higher lows here, we do get a little reaction and we do get right back into the value area high, above the value area high, then that's complete. ABC back into above the value area high, and then actually maybe we're looking to go back up. And we have to see how this plays out, because you know, the way I'm drawing this is taking a few days, and right now what I can see in the price is quite interesting. The price isn't really moving. Like if you look at the price action on Bitcoin from the peak there to where we are now, it's only 6% lower, and that's taken 4 or 5 days. And so you don't really have great movement at the moment. I mean, even though we had quite a big movement today, it's not that much. And so that's 3% today. The election in America is on Tuesday. I don't know if we're going to get a breakdown before the election is decided, to be honest with you. I think we might get a little bit of uncertainty which pulls the price back, but we'll see. So technically, I think the first thing we have to do is lose the point control. And my strategy here, twofold, is to scale in on spot continuously, because I think we put in a higher high and we're just looking for a higher low. But in terms of a leverage position, you're looking for a really nice clean entry, and confirmation would be a sign of strength. So if you lose the point of control and just get back up, you need an invalidation to leverage. And so if you leverage now, where's your invalidation? Well, you could leverage now, but your invalidation would have to be there. And so actually you could actually be very easily invalidated before the price goes up. So it's a really bad invalidation. If you put your invalidation here or here, well, you could leverage and you'll get invalidated. Yeah. It's not a good invalidation. It's too wide. That's the problem with this invalidation. Right? It's way too wide. What would be better is a loss and then a reclaim. Yeah. So we've lost the value area high, and then a reclaim, and then you have an invalidation there. So that becomes it's a really easy invalidation there, because then you long the back test, and then you have your invalidation. That's your leverage trade. Because once you reclaim, that's your sign of strength. You've got a very clean pivot point, which is where you can put your stop loss. And then if you do kind of reclaim above the value area high and then go down, you're out of the trade. And so you have a very tight invalidation. You don't have a wide invalidation, because that's not what you're expecting. You're expecting a reclaim to be followed by strength, because that in itself is a sign of strength. A loss of a level, then a reclaim of the same level is a sign of strength. And then that becomes your trade. Yeah. So that's kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for a reclaim to enter a leverage position, and the lower the better. Okay. So in this context, it would be the value area high of this range, but lower down, what you're kind of looking for is this, a loss and a reclaim. Lose the point of control, get right back above it, and then you have a trade. You'd have to, in this context, you'd have to take profit at the value area high, because you could reject and go right back down. That's your first level of resistance. It would be a lot easier to do it above the value area high and head for the highs. But the reality is, if that's a higher low, then that's kind of what you would expect. And that's kind of what you'd hope for, right? Otherwise, you have to let it play out and let it destroy it, wreck everyone effectively, and you're looking for lower. All right. Would you short? Yeah, you could short as well, but it's exactly the same sentiment. Like, obviously you want to short higher up, which we've missed that opportunity. If you're looking to short, you should have shorted higher up. But here, shorting the value area high is the right place to short. But the problem is you have to take profit at the point of control. You have to, because the price could just as easily, in the same way that we're planning to long, price could go down and come right back up. So if you short there, you could get invalidated very quickly and very easily. Yeah. So that's why it's always better to try and short with a very tight invalidation at the edge of the range. So yeah, so I'm kind of like I'm not shorting obviously because I'm bullish, but in my mind I'm thinking somewhere here, a sign of strength or lower, right? And then here you want to see the reaction. So I wouldn't mind to see these levels get higher, just like I'm seeing here on the 4-hour time frame. I wouldn't mind to see a nice wick here, a higher wick, and then kind of just go back up. If I see that, I'd be happy. Right? It's kind of what I'm looking for right now. And then if not, if you do take out these lows, reject off the point of control, then actually I'll be looking for the high volume node here to become the point of control. I think I would need it to become the point of control. Otherwise, I would want a really bouncy reaction, and then I'd want the point of control to become support again. Okay, that's kind of what I would want. So there's a few things I'm looking for, and I've just kind of gone through all of them. All right, look at the US 500. Let's have a look. Is that the right chart? Capital.com. You mean S&P 500? Which I already have. SPX. Yeah. So S&P, yeah. So, I mean, have a look at the monthly chart, because I think that's really important. For me, that's not a bearish monthly candle, to be honest with you. The wick in itself is quite bearish, but it's like a selling tail in the highs. And it could reflect a reversal, like it could be like a shooting star, huh? Like at the top of a range, if we're about to go down, that would be it, huh? That would be the top. Usually you get like another wick, not just one in its own. Let me have a look here. Like here you get like a second. This is what you're looking for here, isn't it? That's the candle, isn't it? And then you have that push, that green candle, and then you have the sell-off. So on its own, I'm not really I'm not looking at thinking that's the top just yet. That was the last time we had a top. That there, you see again, you had that selling tail there at the top, but you still had another candle that went up and cleaned the top, and the swing you had a monthly time frame swing failure from the top. And then this is slightly different because you had this kind of wick. You had the bigger buying tail, you had the lower highs, and then it just kept on going. These tops took months. These tops took like 6 months. None of these tops were really tops anyway, because the price just kept on going up. The real top here and here, these are like proper tops. They took like 6 months, didn't they? And these tops weren't really tops, were they? The price just continued, all of them. They didn't really. These aren't really topping structures. So, despite what people say, I'm not feeling like we're at the top yet. I don't look at this candle and it doesn't scare me just yet. Let me have a look at the 2-month candle. You see, the 2-month candle is definitely not a topping candle. That's not a topping. It's closed higher. You see the candle on the 2-month candle is closed higher. So we have that's a continuation candle in my mind, because you've closed higher. Green candle closing higher. It's like this one here. Do you see this candle here? 2-month candle at the top of this expanding green candle. It's closed higher. We have the same thing. This is different. You've got a hammer followed by some kind of spinning top. But just at the moment, it's still okay. And then this is the other one. This is the last kind of spinning top. And it was just a range-bound candle for multiple candles before it decided what it wanted to do. So just looking at these candles, I'm not kind of looking at this and feeling overly bearish, to be honest with you. Despite the fact that it's going up, it's like we're at all-time highs on the S&P 500. I think what's interesting is, and I think partially the reason why we're still pushing higher is because the reality is that every single person in America, deep down in their soul, knows that Trump is just going to be better for the American economy because he has a track record, and especially those people who are in the capital markets, in the equities, etc. Because they had a good run. They had a good run between 2016 and 2020, and he's been promising exactly the same thing. So I think partially the reason why it's not really looking bearish is because there is this anticipation that he might win. And so I don't see anything differently at the moment. This is a little bit bearish, this weekly time frame candle. Trying to become bearish, yeah. Bit of a sell-off here. But all that's happening is you're getting potentially an SR flip here. That's all that's happening. SR flip. And then the other thing that's interesting is that gold is still rallying all-time highs. So here's gold. Yeah. That's kind of, look at that. It's interesting. Gold has had a reaction from the 1.618 on this higher time frame fib retracement that I've drawn out. Look at this. Get rid of these brush strokes. All the way from this pivot low to the all-time high put in September 2011. You've got this GAN fan. And then from that peak to the pivot low put in December 2015, you've got a bog standard fib retracement. Yeah. And look at this. Look at the reaction that we've had off the 1.618. Okay, so gold is actually into resistance now, and I think that's quite bullish for Bitcoin, to be honest with you. If gold is coming to resistance, and I think the reason why is because before Bitcoin rallied in the last bull market, gold pulled back. So let me just compare them side by side to have a look at that. Let me go to the last market here. Compare them side to side. Gold rallied first. Bitcoin dumped. Bitcoin's going sideways. Gold is going up. Here, this is the moment. Let me tie these. They are tied. See that? Gold is going up here. And Bitcoin's going down. Gold peaks here, starts going down. Yeah, when Bitcoin's going up, as gold's going down. Gold starts to go up. Bitcoin starts going down as gold starts to see that. They're actually in opposites. Right? Then for a short period of time they're kind of together. They're actually together. So here at the end of this little Bitcoin downturn, they're together. Now again, gold goes up first. So gold is leading, yeah. They kind of do the same thing here. This is quite interesting. They go up together. Here gold is pumping. Now gold starts to pull back. And this is the one, huh? Look, July 20. Gold starts to pull back. And then Bitcoin goes on the run. See that? And that was the bull market. The bull market was when gold started to pull back. It wasn't like a drop. It was like this. Right? And I think that's what we need to see. I think we need to see gold do that. This is a weekly time frame candles. And so look at where gold is now. Gold has had a really nice rally. And in this period of time, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually just gone sideways. And gold has gone like that. So kind of like this. Look. See here, gold has gone up. And during that period, look, Bitcoin's gone sideways. See that? So gold has rallied. Bitcoin's gone sideways. Now gold pulls back. And then Bitcoin rallies. So I really think that's what needs to happen now. And I'm looking at gold now. And look, we've just come into the 1.61. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. But this is kind of what I'm looking for. And then this. And we just do the opposites. So let's see if that plays out. I'm just kind of looking at history and just kind of seeing the comparison between gold and Bitcoin. And I think we're in the right situation for that to happen because gold has rallied. And if you look before, you see gold had to rally first before it pulled back. And then all of that value went back into Bitcoin. During that period that gold was rallying before, Bitcoin was basically going sideways. You can see that. And so we've kind of had that like for the last X amount of time, 7, 8 months, gold has gone up 22%. Bitcoin hasn't gone anywhere. It's just gone sideways. And so now what I want to see is I actually want to see potentially gold fall all the way back to this level, this 1.414, which would be a big SR flip here. And also as a higher time frame fib level on a fib retracement. And I want to see then Bitcoin just rally in that period of time. That's really what I'm looking for, right? So I'm looking for that. And then let's have a look at the DXY. Actually, let me just close the double screen again. Go back to my original chart. See, I'm not quite sure about DXY because something that Trump has said is that he's going to use Bitcoin as a reserve currency for the DXY. He said that, okay? And so I am actually wondering if we're going to see some kind of correlation. Oh, even though you expect DXY to go down and for Bitcoin and all of the equities and commodities, etc., to go up, I'm just really wondering if we get something different this time. Okay, and I'm not sure. I can't be 100% about what's going to happen. But because of what he's said, I'm just wondering if the DXY goes on a crazy rally and it coincides with Bitcoin just because of what he said. And I don't think anyone can predict that, because that's a little bit of like a black swan event, isn't it? But to the upside for the DXY. I do wonder if DXY starts to kind of break out with Bitcoin just because of what he has said and if he does what he said. So if he suddenly makes an announcement, because he's actually strongly determined to preserve the dollar as the world's reserve currency. He's very determined to do that. And so one way he would do that would be to secure it with gold again, you know, to pin it to gold. But if he did that with Bitcoin, then that should be quite interesting to see how they would correlate, because then you would have the DXY going up and potentially Bitcoin going up at the same time together. And then you could see what I'm kind of seeing on the charts now on other currencies is weakness. Okay, so obviously I'm looking at the GBP because of the recent kind of budget, etc. in the UK, but I'm seeing a little bit of weakness on the GBP compared to the dollar. It looks, people look at it and go, oh, this looks quite strong, but actually I don't see strength, I see weakness. Look, this is a 12-month time frame candle, decreasing volume, see that? And after this drop from 2 years ago, all we've got is a little pullback, a little bounce, a little back test, and I'm seeing a lot of weakness in the UK pound compared to the dollar. Does that mean the UK pound is weak, or does that mean the dollar is strong? And it's a question. Potentially it means the dollar is actually quite strong. And so let's just compare that. Let's just have a look at that with the euro as well. Look at this. This is the monthly time frame on the UK pound against the dollar. It's extremely weak. This red candle is extremely bearish. It's like so bearish. You should short the pound against the dollar. This candle with this, just with that candle. Look at the volume, increasing volume. It's a really bearish candle. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm selling GBP. I'm buying dollar at the very least, USDT at the very least. Yeah. What's actually happened? Let me pull the full fib so you can see. You don't need to use log charts on this. You can use the regular chart on, because it's not an exponential asset, so you could use the regular chart, and it's just a pair. You don't need to use a log chart on these currency pairs. And so what you can actually see is, interestingly enough, we had this kind of bearish V, very bearish, put in a lower low here after we put in a lower high there. You see that lower high? You can't explain this to ordinary people. Ordinary people will never have no idea what we're talking about. Lower high, lower low. This is really bearish structure on a monthly time frame. Really bearish. And we had a bounce. We've come into the golden pocket here, testing resistance, and we've come up all the way up to the 786, clean rejection, really nice clean rejection there. And then we had two things that are very bearish to confirm this bearishness. Firstly, we've had a swing failure of this pivot, which confirms some kind of fake out on an SR flip with an engulfing monthly time frame engulfing red candle. Yeah, so it's really a bearish reversal pattern Combine that with the SFP, and not only that, we've closed into the golden pocket. So we haven't held the golden pocket as support, which needed to happen for continuation. Yeah, so we've just literally gone right back into the golden pocket. Confirmation here would be to lose the golden pocket, back test it as resistance for continuation to the downside. Okay, so these are some really bearish signs that I'm seeing on this chart, the British pound against the US dollar. Combine the structure itself is bearish because you've got higher time frame, lower highs, lower lows. Yeah, we've come all the way back to the 786. Usually with these V shapes, I think 50%, but you know, Forex is slightly different because it's a pair. So it's not the same as just an asset against USD, or some kind of asset which has some kind of growth to it, like a network growth or some kind of business growth. It's very different. But for me, this is actually looking really bearish. And then the UK don't really know what's about to hit them, to be honest with you, the UK government. Let's have a look at some other currency pairs just to see, because I am wondering if Trump wins and the US dollar becomes really strong. USD, I don't know, CAD. I've got that here. Look at that. It's a bit messy, my charts. Let me just delete all this stuff. They got volume on this chart, actually. It's quite interesting. Let's get rid of this. What is this brush strokes? Get rid of all of these. Don't know what they are. Range bound behavior. Yeah. The whole thing is a range. But what's interesting is from this high to this low, we found a lot of resistance against this golden pocket. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And now we're finally getting above it. You can see that, huh? And what we've also done in this period of time is that we've created a lot of volume at the point of control here, which is above halfway of the range. And we've not so long ago, like a year and a half ago, we've confirmed it as support. That's your support. And now you see the dollar is pushing up against the Canadian dollar. You can see that, huh? On a higher time frame. So we are seeing strength on the dollar. See that? We're seeing strength. We're seeing a little bit of strength. Back test it as support. And we're just consolidating here. Potentially looking to go up. Let's have another look at something else. Let's have a look at another one. USD against don't really know. What's usually strong? Swiss franc, huh? Usually quite strong. I haven't looked at any of these charts. You see the US dollar has been very weak against the Swiss franc for a long period of time. Okay. What? Extremely weak. I'll go back to normal charts. That being said, over the last X amount of years, like from 2010 to now, we're basically range bound. So you can almost ignore the previous, you can almost ignore everything here and just focus on where we are, which is here. Yeah, you can pretty much ignore the rest. It just means, what it means is just that the Swiss economy really grew extremely fast between 2071 through to 2020, and then since then it's been on par with the US economy. So they've kind of gone up and down together. Previously the Swiss economy was growing quite rapidly, and therefore the value of the Swiss franc was increasing in comparison to the dollar, whereas now it's just going in sideways from 2020 from 2010 through to now. All right, so I mean, it's tricky. It's a tricky one, because are you seeing strength or weakness here? Well, if I kind of mark out the range from that candle to this candle, that's basically the range, isn't it? And gonna mark that out. See, the golden pocket is lining up with the point of control and the value area high of this range. We're underneath the 50% of the range. We're in the lower part of the range, and we're underneath some key levels. So no, I'm not seeing crazy strength yet. Okay, not really seeing any strength. There's a little bit of a reversal happening here. That was in these two candles here. You got red, green, right there, and a little back test here. So there are signs of potential change here. So there are signs, but nothing's been confirmed. You can't tell right now whether the US dollar is actually looking to reverse against the Swiss franc, which is actually which has been very strong. Can't tell. It's very difficult to know. You can tell something is that they are going side by side in some kind of horizontal range for a long period of time. And what you would want to see for strength is a reclaim. I mean, if this dollar was now to kind of go up and find support there, and just confirm and backtest this area of support, then honestly you would long the dollar against the Swiss franc, because now you're looking for these highs, because then you're targeting these highs here. That's what you'd be aiming for if that was to happen. Yeah, but we're nowhere near that at the moment, so it's very hard to say. So I do wonder if there is a possibility that the USD is going to get strong, but it would all depend on what happens in the next couple of weeks or months. So anyway, that's kind of my continued analysis of what's going on. But I mean, I am like looking at the GBP. You know, traditionally, I mean, let's have a look at the euro as well, because that's quite interesting as well. Let me just add it. Don't know which chart to use. Forex ICE. No volume, is there? There's no volume, is there? Oh. See if I can find some volume. It'd be nice to have some volume. What's this Saxo? Don't know what it is. Ice Saxo. No worries, I'll have a look at that. CNY. CNY is tricky though, because China's been growing too. I mean, it's been quite strong at the DXY. That's the thing. And I mean, if it was to continue this pattern, it should have gone down. It's not going down. So, you know, you look at this higher time frame structure, it's bearish, but there's no confirmation of bullishness because we haven't taken out the high. We haven't actually achieved that. When I look at this, and the problem with the DXY is you can't see volume. That's the other problem. And I really like to see volume. So there's no volume. But it's obviously range bound. Just again, it goes from this high to this low. And I mean, would you take it to this low or to this low? You could take it to both. To this low, we're underneath some kind of 382 resistance. To this low, we actually reclaimed the 28236 support, and we've rejected off the 382. And then look, the 50% reacts. So I'll probably take it to that low. The 50% reacts perfectly. But for me, this is actually looking quite strong. So we've gone from all the way to here, and then we're back above the 382. Yeah. So as long as you hold, for me, as long as you hold that level, and so for me, horizontal levels are superior to all levels. Yeah. So when you reclaim a horizontal level like this, a higher time frame fib, which extends over decades, you reclaim it as support. I think that for me, that's a sign of strength. I don't see that as weakness, despite the market structure being bearish on this higher time frame. I see that as strength. And if this is starting some kind of uptrend, this is 6 monthly candles, yeah, but maybe on the monthly time frame, there's an uptrend here, isn't there? So, and the structure changed down here, low, low, high, 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 low, high, high. It's kind of, we're in bullish market structure here on a monthly time frame. So any kind of consolidation here for me is bullish, because until the market structure doesn't change, I think it's still looking to go up. But what really interests me is exactly what Trump's been saying about strengthening the US dollar. And you know what the Americans have been talking about is a new golden age, you know. So if they start talking about it, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news. Anyway, I wanted to let me just have a look at the euro anyway. I know you're saying you don't find any use, but let's have a look anyway. It's pretty similar to the DXY actually, this chart, isn't it? So that's what's interesting. It might not be interesting, but in a sense it is quite interesting, because it looks like the DXY a little bit. See, it looks very similar to the DXY. And typically I would say this is bearish, you know, V. And it's, in a sense, it is bearish. But at the moment, we're in some kind of bullish uptrend. Yeah. That hasn't changed yet. And what I would, and see, this is the thing. Normally when you're getting some kind of V, yeah, you go up to 50%, you reject, and then that's it. That's your breakdown. You don't just keep on going up. Like, it doesn't continue. Like, if this was inversed like that, you don't just keep on going down like that. Like, if this is an actual V-shaped recovery, you go down, you go to the 50%, there's your test, there's your second test, there's your swing failure. And now you put in lower, higher highs, and then you just go up, you break up, and that's it. And then you take out that high, and this continues, right? But we're not getting that. So what happened is you went up, it tried, but actually it started putting lower highs here, or obviously in the correct context, higher lows, and we were back up. So even though this is what I'm expecting, this is not what I'm getting, and therefore it changes my opinion about the outlook. Because while normally I would think in this context this is really bearish, the reality is that because it hasn't done what I wanted it to do, I expected it to do, after it rejected from the 50%, that was the rejection, second rejection, higher low here and right back up, this changes a lot of things. Yeah, for me, what you're getting is a different kind of V. You're getting, the V is here. There's a different kind of V. So yeah, anyway, it's just food for thought. We'll have a look at these. All right. So yeah, so going back to Bitcoin, Oh, look, interesting. BTC dominance is now 60% now. So let's just quickly have a look at that. Let's take a look at this monthly time frame candle. Wow. In this context, it's a bullish candle. It's a tricky one, huh? So all the way from November 22, it's just better to be in Bitcoin. I don't get anything from this at the moment. This is the first bearish sign. On today's candle, you see that? That's bearish engulfing on Bitcoin dominance on the daily candle. That's the first bearish sign that I've seen in a while. That's really bearish to see that forming there. And actually what you're seeing is it's closing underneath the high there. It's like a reversal. Little back test and then down, possibly. I do think we're coming into resistance on BTCD, but I've been saying that for a while, so it's hard to pinpoint the exact moment. Let's have a look at this one. That's quite interesting. We had a really nice bearish close here on the monthly time frame. Underneath that candle there, you see that? That's a bearish close on the USDT dominance combined. Getting a little bit of a pullback, which is normal, and then maybe we're going to get continuation. So for me, that's this red candle here is a continuation candle, just because it closed lower than that previous candle low, the previous month low. So that was a good sign. I think that was a good sign. Had the same thing here on Pax Golding as Bitcoin, very similar to USDTD, but on this one, yeah, see that you have it's like a bullish close because you've closed higher than the previous candle, but we're still kind of stuck into this kind of resistance area, so it has to clear there first. Potentially, if it wants to go up. All right, what did I want to have a look at now? So is Bitcoin going to go up? That's the question. In November? I think historically it should. I mean, that's what a lot of people have been saying, yeah. In the context of a bull market, it should. Now, in August, I said that September would probably go up. And obviously this month I've been talking about Bitcoin going up, and it's gone up. Yeah, so luckily for me, I've called it 2 months in a row. I've called up and it's gone up. Okay, I don't see why we don't go up again. Yeah, I really don't see why it doesn't happen. I find it very unusual for us to go down. But obviously I do think we should form a higher low and go up. And in terms of these candles and what would be correct, especially when I look at the 2 month candle, you know, this for me, this is actually really bullish. But what would be correct on this monthly time frame is a nice back test there, which is kind of correlates to what Name was saying. which was somewhere about 66. That would be correct in terms of candles. Come to backtest that previous candle high, and then when you go up, that would, this structure would look really nice. So look really correct. That would kind of be another test of this SR flip neckline here, wouldn't it? It would feel bearish for a few days, but it wouldn't actually be bearish. And that would bring us all the way down to, again, it's kind of what I was imagining before, isn't it? Look, this is kind of what I think needs to happen. Something like that. Just another wick, loop down into the lower parts of underneath the point of control, back above it, kind of follow this pattern, and then on the monthly time frame, when you look at it, it would look okayer because you've just come back to test the top of that wick on that previous month candle for continuation, and in continuation, you know, let's go up. And then if you look at it, then if people look at that and they see, oh my God, then guess what? The next candle is going to be a crazy candle. Then you have a really off the charts God candle, the next one, because you'll be in price discovery, and then people will be, what you want to actually see is also you want to see increasing volume here. And so I'll be looking for that. At the moment, we've got 2 green candles, increasing volume, and kind of like this. You want to see increasing volume, break the previous high here, increasing volume, increasing volume, increasing volume, kind of like that. Potentially, we'll see how that plays out all the way through to March, and I almost think that's what needs to happen now. So this was October here, this was November. 1, 2, 3, 4, another 4 green months. Why not? I don't see why not, really. And what's interesting is that we've put in a really high volume structural support here, like a flag. It looks like we're breaking out. So everything is kind of correlated in my imagination for a crazy breakout. And I don't know how it's going to go. I'm not like looking really for 300. It doesn't really make sense to me to go all the way up to 300. But anyway, we'll see. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to go to when you look at the regular chart. $300. It's all the way up here. Like that. All the way to March. Be quite steeper. There. I think if you get like 1 or 2, kind of one big candle, yeah, maybe. Like in one, and then you'd sell that. Because that would be your next candle would be your take profit. If it landed all the way up there, possibly, yeah. But I don't know. It's not an easy one to predict. Would you just get something like this? I don't know. And I think volume is key to see what the volume's like. All right, so I mean, when you're looking at the other altcoins, they're looking quite shaky. And what's good about, so yeah, so I posted this on my X today, and so I wanted to show you. And it's kind of going back to my kind of continuous analysis on TRVL. Oh, this is me. So I've kind of been in the Alps. Yep, I'm wearing my Dtravel outfit. My gear, Dtravel, never comes off. Okay, so this is quite interesting. So I posted this today, only 6 hours ago, and it gives you some stats of the Dtravel growth And so this is quite interesting. Total on chain. So I can actually pull up the link. So maybe I should just do that. I posted this on my X. But let me actually get the link and let's have a look at it together. 1 second, let me just find it first. I have to go into my Telegram. Have a look at that. And if you want to have a look, I'm just going to paste it here for you. If you want to have a look on your own time. So these are the Dtravel network analytics, and I think it's really interesting because it gives us quite a lot of information about the month-on-month and the year-on-year growth of our network, because we are a DPN, and so we have a physical network that we're growing as well as our virtual network, our digital network. We have kind of multiple networks that are growing at the same time, as well as our traveler network. We have a kind of a combination of multiple networks that are kind of intertwined together, and this is kind of key to our growth, which is the physical network. And so here, this is the growth of the on-chain listings, and you can see, so going all the way back through to 2023, the beginning of 2023 thereabouts, March, you can see where this begins. It starts at 382. Now my listing, I mean, it was way before that. It was like June 2022. Yeah, so I was one of the first few listings, and my on-chain transaction, I was number one, wasn't I? So my on-chain booking, I was literally number one here. But for some reason they've started in March, and my booking was in June or July, no, it was August 2022. So obviously they've started a little bit. That's fine. It doesn't really matter, does it? But it's looking quite good. So you start at 382, and on-chain listings, look at this big, we're now at 3,828. Yeah. I don't know what to make of this. I can't really analyze this. I don't know if it's exponential or not. At the moment, it's kind of, there's a little bit of a kind of spike here, but I think as time progresses, we'll know. So it's quite good to keep on having a look at this. And this is the sign up. So we've had quite a lot of sign ups in July and August. You see that? So we have a bunch. It kind of went from slightly above 4,000 to now above 8,000. So almost double the amount of sign ups. So from July through until now, or the end of October, we've doubled our operator sign ups from 4K to 8K. That's like a significant jump, and I think that correlates to the jump in the listings here. You see that? So we went from 2,380 to somewhere close to 4,000. Hi OH, how's it going? Nice to see you. And then this is quite interesting too. So this is the cumulative dollar value. I think this is the transaction value or the booking value, right? So up till date, we've had a transacted value in terms of bookings, in terms of real world value of $835,000 and $835,463. And so what's interesting about this value is that the percentage that Dtravel takes will be used to buy back TRVL. This is real world value that's going to buy back TRVL. And so this is, for me, this is actually really interesting because I'm seeing a really nice growth curve here. And I don't know how far or how exponential this is going to get in the future. This is quarterly, basically the same chart, but it's quarterly. Here it looks like it's slowing down a little bit, but I mean, it's hard to tell, isn't it? Because this is all quite new. And we're now starting to see some real significant increase in growth. What's this here? Yeah, this is basically a summary. Look, so 105 countries. So we probably have about 65 countries left for it to be the whole world. And then we got 886 cities. We can't see the growth of these. Can I click on that? Will that help? No, it does nothing. Okay. This is the total room nights booked. So to date, we've had 6,521 room nights booked. And these are the on-chain bookings. So we've actually crossed 1,000 on-chain bookings. And so if you think that my on-chain booking was number one, was numero uno, the first on-chain booking. If you don't know, I was number one. Dtravel, message RD. Let me see if I can find the article for you. Here it is. August 5, 2022. You can have a look at that. No, RH is saying, is it cold? No, man, it's really nice and warm in Chamonix. It's so good. The weather's so good. So you can have a look at that article. You can see this was our first on-chain booking. Yeah, so this is the first one we did. I did this. There you look. The firm's first booking was conducted for a London apartment. Owner named me, Miss Jodie. And if you imagine that was our first on-chain booking, so since then, we've actually achieved 1,008 on-chain bookings. This is a real kind of revolution for what we're actually trying to do and what we're achieving in Web3 and in this industry of taking all of the short-term vacation rentals, taking the whole lot on-chain. So all of the data is on-chain, and this is peer-to-peer transactions. So whether people pay with their credit cards using Stripe, which is a payment gateway, or whether they use crypto, they could use USDT or something, or TRVL or another crypto, depending what they accept. All of these transactions are being processed and being recorded on the blockchain. So I think there's a lot of interesting information here. So I don't know if people realize how, like when I looked at this for the first time today, I was like, I don't think people are bullish enough on what this will become or can become in the future, you know? And this is the beginning. Like, I really think this is the beginning. If you think that we're only at how many listings? 3,800 listings. And we've already, cumulatively, we've already achieved $835,000 worth of transactions. So you can imagine if that was 100x at 300,000 listings or 400,000 listings, and this was 100x too. And so if that was 100x, we'd be looking at $100 million here, wouldn't we? And then if you can imagine that value is now being used to buy back TRVL, not all of it, obviously, but the percentage. And that doesn't include everything else that's coming, such as the staking, etc., etc., all of the tokenomics that's being implemented. And that doesn't include anything to do with the Knight protocol, which is an innovation which has the potential to revolutionize the way different aspects of the industry share data. I think this is really interesting. I'm not telling people to buy TRVL, but I think you should do your own research and maybe pick up some for the long haul, for the long term. Yeah, just pick up some, just throw it away in some wallet and don't look at it for another 5 years and then come back and see what happens. That's kind of what I think about this project, you know. It's not going to do any harm. So anyway, let's just go back to the charts, because obviously I'm not here to shield something. I'm here to look at the charts. I think what's happening is that Bitcoin is trying to make a higher low and everything is in response. So, you know, when you look at my list of tokens, you see everything's kind of up, down, down, up, down, down, up. I think we're getting a bit of a pullback on a lot of tokens. When I look at TRVL, we're getting a little bit of a pullback. And I have been talking about a pullback. You know, I haven't not been talking about a pullback. And so I think it's really important that people realize that I'm just trying to be honest with what I see in the charts. And I'm not telling people to buy or sell. I'm just giving you the information of what I see, and then people can make their own decisions about what they want to do do you want to trade it? Do you want to sell a little bit, take profit? Do you want to sell and buy back? I don't know. It's not my decision. Everyone makes their own minds up about that. The one thing that I noticed though, which I kind of wanted to reiterate, is the volume. Yeah, so the volume is dropped. This is on Bybit. This is on the combined chart. And you can clearly see the volumes drop. Now, I don't really understand what that means really. Like, generally speaking, as the price goes up and the volume is going down, that's actually quite bearish. So I do want to see an increase in volume as the price goes up. And if I don't see that, I'm going to think that, okay, we do need to see an increase in volume. Otherwise, increase in price is not healthy. Yeah. Low volume increases in price is just not healthy. It has to be increasing volume, increasing prices. That being said, I am also seeing consolidation. It's a different kind of consolidation because I did talk about potentially having some kind of 5-wave impulsive move here. Where did I mark it out? Not there. There. So I was kind of talking about potentially some kind of impulsive move here. And this whole thing was consolidation. So you had your initial volume come in, which is just people buying in. And now we're getting, now in consolidation, the volume can drop. So when you have consolidation, you generally have a drop in volume. Usually with consolidation, you have a drop in price, a decrease in prices and decrease in volume, like that. You form a flag until you get a breakout with increasing. Well, usually that's what happens. This is very different. It's almost like the price has gone up and the volume's dropped. And I think the reason why is because it's very illiquid. And the reason I think the volume has dropped is because we are consolidating. Yeah. So I don't think it's the price is trying to go up. I think actually the price is just trying to consolidate. And that's probably why the volume has dropped. Okay. So that's kind of, I'm just giving an explanation of what I think is happening with the price. All right. But nothing's really changed when you look at the price action. I mean, you could argue it's a little bit bearish because we're getting a little bit of reversal here. And when you look at like TRVL against Bitcoin, I'm using this chart, I'm using multiple charts. You could argue that it's just trying to form a lower, some kind of higher low here, which is what I kind of drew out a few days ago, and it has come down a little bit, not much. But I think it's just kind of following Bitcoin a little bit. Bitcoin is pulling back, TRVL is pulling back. Here, this looks quite bearish. Let's look at a little bit of a price gone up, hits the daily level, rejects. It's quite bearish, slightly increasing in volume. So potentially we could head down to find liquidity and come right back up. At the moment, there is a little bit of a change in the structure, a little bit. I can see it just as I'm looking at it now. You see here, you've got lots of these wicks, higher wicks, higher wicks, higher wicks, higher wicks. It goes up. And now we get a nice kind of solid close down, and then a little bit, this is a little bit of a change here, a little bit of a change. So potentially there is a little bit of a change here. But generally speaking, when I look at the monthly time frame candle, for example, look here. We closed higher than the previous month high. I think that's a bullish candle close. For me, that's really bullish. And for me also, when I look at this, this is a kind of, we're starting to form a reversal structure here, reversal pattern. I think you get another white candle, green candle here, then you've got a really nice reversal pattern here on the monthly time frame. So I'm not too phased by a little pullback. And we've had it every month here, haven't we? We've not really had, it's the only, like, I mean, when you look at the price going up, it's rare that you get a candle where it just gets bought up. We did here last year in February and March. We just had market buys from candle close to straight up. But previously, you can see we're in a much stronger position because you know, we've gone up 2 months in a row now. We've gone up September, October, where it's here. September was a red, and then October was up. Here you see November it went up, and then it went right back to the lows. So we had a red November last year. I think we're in a much stronger position here. And especially if you think about everything that we've built and all of the stats that I've shared, and the fact that we're only from November, from the beginning of November last year to where we are now, that was only 18% lower than where we are now in terms of price. I think, honestly, I think you just buy now, it's a real bargain. Honestly, that's what I think. But it doesn't mean that we can't get a pullback. And so like I was saying to people, I think if we do get a pullback all the way to 3.1, 3.2 cents, I think that would be perfectly acceptable. I don't think it would be bearish to get a pullback. Which gives people an opportunity to buy at some kind of high volume nodes here. And then what you want to see is continuation. You want to see an impulsive continuation. So whatever happens, we have our wave one. We want to see a corrective pattern here. And then we want to see another impulse. That will be the wave one of wave three, the next wave, basically. All right. So that's kind of what we're looking for on TRVL. And I think based on the data that I've shared, I think most people are probably really bullish. Okay. So I am. Let's just have a look at these other kind of charts. This is against Airbnb again. TRVL against Airbnb. Let's see if there's anything interesting here. So you can see that we've come into the value area high, and we're just getting a little bit of a pullback here against Airbnb. Let's have a look at the monthly time frame candles. More bullish against USDT, huh? Just because it closed lower. But anyway, we have to see how these this is against the crypto market cap, others. Just hide all this data. See, that's really nice bullish candle, and there's a little bit of a green continuation here. So it's actually more bullish against the rest of the other cryptos in comparison. In terms of the way the price, TRVL's price is dropping less compared to the other crypto tokens on average. Let's have a look at this one. This is against Fetch. So actually, look, according to this, it's actually better to be in TRVL than Fetch. According to this, at the moment it is. Look, it's looking really nice. This is against Cake. Looking really bullish against Cake. And against Slurf, we had a really bullish month last month against Slurf. Getting a little bit of a pullback now. So generally speaking, to me at the moment, the tokens that I'm following, TRVL is looking much better. This is against ETH. It's starting to look really good against all of these tokens. And obviously the only one which is slightly lagging is Bitcoin. And I think that's partly because Bitcoin, people have this anticipation that Bitcoin's about to run. And so therefore, obviously, that's something to bear in mind. All right, what else have I got to look at? All right, I wanted to have a look at SUI and SSWP, but I've just noticed that my data is going to run out. I might have to change my data to a different phone. Give me 1 second. I don't have 5G on this phone. All right. Let me figure this out. Hold on a second. All right. Give me a second. All right, I'm going to have to finish in 10 minutes. All right, I don't know. Maybe I won't look at SUI and SSWP today. Is there anything you wanted me to have a look at quickly? Because Altcoin is asking about Cray. I haven't bought any Cray yet. I'm going to buy some. But honestly, I was looking at Cray and I think it's going to go low. I don't know why. Because, where is it? It's here somewhere. Oh, you did, huh? Just a little bit. I'll do Cray and then we'll go, and then I have to go. Sorry, I'll do SSWP and SUI tomorrow after I get back to London. So look, this is the chart on MEXC. And then I'll have a look at the chart on the other one quickly. I was aiming for 4. Usually I just buy and I don't really think about it because I'm buying spot. But honestly, because it was a new token and I saw it pumped so much and then I counted the waves, I really wanted to see some kind of zigzag here. I didn't think, and then obviously I knew that Bitcoin was about to pull back, so I wasn't in a rush to just buy in because I also felt that Bitcoin was pulling back, and because it's a new token, I was just thinking maybe there's some people who are trapped. They're just going to dump their tokens first and just wait or something like that. So I'm not in a crazy rush. At the moment, what I'm looking at here, so I have been looking at it, is potentially something like this. And it's a bit trickier because I think here we've lost the value area in this upper range. There's a little bit of an upper range here. And I think we've lost the value area. Somewhere there. Okay. So I think there's a little bit of, I think we're looking for lower personally. And also obviously we've come back into this overall value area. So let me just fix that. Point control is a little bit higher. It's actually lining up nicely with this what is that, 382. So it's lining up a little bit nicely. And also just based on these kind of ABCD, ABCXYs, whatever I've been doing here, I've just done a kind of really simple extension from the top here to this W and to this X, and the 1-to-1 is giving me exactly the same location. Yeah, you see the 1-to-1 that's here, it's giving the same location. The 618 is coming at this previous low here, and then you got this 1-to-1. So in my imagination, based on some kind of fib time as well, and that would be the 1-to-2, or the 1618 is here, so we're about to approach it, and the 1-to-2 will put us at about 6th of November. I wonder if we're going to get my area of interest, which is 0.004. That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. And actually that would bring the price of Cray down another 40% by the 5th or the 6th of November. For me, that would be the best place to buy it because it's the highest volume on this range. If it comes exactly at the right time, at the right place, then it's an amazing trade. It's an amazing buy. All right. So I'm kind of looking for that. I don't know if it's going to be an XY like this. It could just be a 5-wave down, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of making this up. Maybe that was like this, and this is your last wave. So you have your WXY here, and then that's just your kind of your last wave, your 4-5. So it's actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, which would make sense. So that's kind of why I'm looking at it like this. And actually the timings, I've done it based off, how did I do it? Have a look at your chart. Let's have a look at it tomorrow, yeah? Because I don't think there's anything, nothing's going to happen by tomorrow. I'll be online tomorrow evening, probably about like 7 or 8. I'll be at home and I can spend some more time. I'm not worried about my internet. Let me just have a look at yours and then see. It's not easy to see. You've got the golden pocket. So that's basically, I'm thinking lose the golden pocket and fill that expansive candle, that little gap there. That's what I'm thinking, this green one here. That makes sense to me, to do that, to fill these gaps, and the golden pocket or just underneath it. I'm not thinking we should bounce here, to be honest with you, especially since to me it looks like we're losing the value area low here. You've got it at the value area low. So let's have a look at it tomorrow evening. Yeah, I'll have another look, more look in depth. I mean, I mean following it, but I mean, why not? Why not get lower? And then at the moment, obviously, if you see a sign of, you can scale in, but a sign of strength would be potentially to lose this low, bounce and get right back up. Then you'll confirm. It's like a confirmation, is it? If we get that kind of behavior, and then you want to see an impulse. And this, for some reason, you got the 1 to 2 coming to about 6th of November. That could correspond quite well with the US elections. And so I have to have a look at that again. And I'll do that with you tomorrow if you're around. So sorry, guys. I wanted to have a look at SUI and SSWP. I'll have a look at it tomorrow instead. And then if there's anything you want me to have a look at, just let me know and then we'll have a look at it tomorrow. So I'll be back in London tomorrow. And then we'll have a look at stuff together. All right. Cheers, guys. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful night. Let's chat tomorrow.